it's MK. What do I have on my desk besides a mess? I was asked to do a project using some Stampin' Up! Supplies shown mixed in with what I already had in my stash. So I immediately thought of this collection right here, and I believe it's called the Sailing Home Collection. I believe. Let me look and see. Oh, Come Sail Away is what it's actually called. It's Come Sail Away collection. And I have the paper, I have the cardstock, I have the stamp sets and dies, and then I also have these really cool Sail Away, what they're called trinkets, Sail Away trinkets. And then I went into my stash and pulled out a bunch more stuff. Now before I do, I want to show you guys this amazing layout. Now this layout will be the one that I'm going to try and scrap lift. It was posted by Penelope D, which is a paper crafting company over in Africa, I believe. I think that's what ZA stands for, is Africa. And this particular layout was made by Susan Venter. Okay, so I cannot wait to do that, but I wanted to show you guys the supplies first of what I am using before I just start going ahead and doing it. So the first thing that I did was I went into my stash and I pulled out a ton of stamps. Now I'm going to show these before they get lost. They're just Tiny Bubbles by Altenew. Love, love, love. Then I have these dots here by, I believe they're 49th and Market. If I'm wrong, let me know. They're not dots. Did I just call them dots? No, they're stitched lines. Okay, so those are them. And then I said already that I have the Sailing Home stamps and dies. They're in the same package. I also have this one here, I believe again is by 49th and Market. Okay, and this little cluster down in here is a bunch of travel words like move forward, roam undiscovered, wander, walk without destination, things like that. So it's kind of that thing. Gorgeous Grunge by Stampin' Up. You don't really, I'm pretty sure you guys don't care what it is. This one also too is Butterfly Basics. I love this stamp set. I really, really do. Oh, so succulent. Whoops. Sorry. Oh, so succulent. And you guys are probably thinking, oh my god, what is she going to do? First Frost. Okay. All of these are by Stampin' Up. This one is Sea of Textures. Okay. And I have the stamp and dies for this as well. Okay. I have Ghoulish Grunge, which I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not. I haven't figured that out yet. I need to do some stamping first. Positive Thoughts. Okay, and last but not least, an Altenew stamp that is my favorite for underwater, especially doing backgrounds. Ah, isn't that gorgeous? And then of course it also has this so you can do like bokeh effects, but I always see underwater. But I bet you they're supposed to be doing, and I can't remember what this one was called. Honestly, I just can't remember. I already talked about the paper, so I haven't even opened it. Isn't that great? I've wanted this collection, and yeah, I've had it. It's not opened. So let me open that really, really quickly for you guys, since it needs to be opened. Okay. Show you all what I have in here. Okay, and there's two of everything. So I'll just fan it out and kind of show you guys the first go of it. And then they have like, these are lighthouses. Oh my stars. It's not working. Just not working. I was trying to be fast. So you got compasses on this kind of grungy background. And then you have a green, I don't know. Okay, it's a green map. Okay, and I mean like super green. Then you have newsprint about yachts and sailboats and things like that. So all of those. And then you have the knots. Those are pretty cool. I like those. Then you have like a distressed, almost looks like fabric stripes. This one's my favorite. Look at that. Ah, I love that one. Okay, sorry. Then you have the sailboats, teeny tiny little sailboats. And on the other side is a green stripe. This very fine pinstripe. Look at that. Pretty fine, huh? Yep. Okay. And then this one is kind of like, I don't know, compasses and Siemens and things like that. So nautical tooling is what we'll call that. Here is the lighthouses. Isn't that cool? I love that distress right there. That's awesome. And then this gorgeous, gorgeous stripes. Yes. And it looks like it's on fabric. Then I also have the pocket cards, which I think these are called memory somethings. Anyways, every company calls their little pocket page or pocket cards something different. I'm just going to flip through them really quickly. I know that there's probably a glare. I'm really sorry. But I wanted to kind of show you guys what they all look like. There's, I believe, 2 of everything. Yes. Yes. There is 2 of everything. This one is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, look at that. Yep. Gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to put those over there because they're slick. And then these are laser cut. So I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but that is laser cut. You've got laser cut over here, laser cut rope over there. So, and then when I flip this over, these are just the other side of the cards. They're not more cards. That's all that is. So here's the laser cut on the other side. This is a printed. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. It's printed on one side, and then it's like white on the other side, or white cream. Okay, so yeah, that's how that looks. Sorry if my dogs get up and move. My son just got home, so I have to quickly run through this. Again, laser cut, and here is the other side. Okay, and then these ones are laser cut. I just put them on the backs. Oh, in this gorgeous lighthouse. And then I put them on the back of the embellishments, like so. Okay, sorry about that. One of my sons came home. So in the meantime, I picked out my photo. Okay, so this is what my photo is going to be. Just a nice little kayaking adventure with me and my hubby. I also have the sail away trinkets, and what they are they anchors and helm like that. Okay, so clearly I'm not going to use all of them, but 1 or 2 maybe. I also have these paper house puffy stickers, and I'm not really sure. I need to find like a white ampersand and use a word from here and a word from here, because relax and wonder is kind of the one that I like, but I also like set sail and breathe, enjoy, no worries, and all the little arrows. I just love them. Just love them. I also have the Beach Shack by Kaiser Craft, and that is roughly what we will be sifting through later. And then I have the brand new Seize the Day die cuts by Close to My Heart, which are available starting 4 days ago. So brand new, spanking out of the bin. I love how they just fall off like that. Sorry. And they're chipboard. They are chipboard. I probably won't do the Salty Kisses, but Life is Better in Flip-Flops, You Are My Sunshine. I love the Together. Not All Stars Belong to the Sky. I like the Relax. I kind of don't like this. It's a little too long for me. Oh, you guys can't see those. I'm sorry. Oh, what on earth? They're on a really light gray, and in between, oh, see, they just fall right out. I love that. I love that. And the little nubbins. Oh my gosh, do you know those little nubbins that I always complain about? Wah! Look, they're like almost non-existent. There they are right there. Do you see them? barely. I'm so glad that they heard from us. I really, really am. But in all the dead space, there's little shapes. So hardly any waste at all. So inside the dead space, there's shapes as well. So I really like that. Can't wait to sprinkle some of those on. And I am going to use the packaging that my Come Sail Away paper came in. I have already cut out just a super out of copy paper circle using my Creative Memories circle cutter. Clearly it wasn't big enough. It's only 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. This circle was a little bit bigger, but the photo is going to cover up. I mean, I could even go like that and you guys won't even notice, but it's kind of like this. It creates like a shelf, so it goes this way and this way, so it's like an L shape. But I cannot wait, I can't wait to do this, get this going and see what it is that I come up with. The first thing that I think I'm gonna do is put some temporary adhesive on this, but I don't know if I should do my outline first and then my cluster in the middle, so then that way I kind of sort of can see it better of how far out I need to go, because what I planned on doing, sorry, my dogs really want the kids to play with them. What I plan on doing is taking one of these stitched stamps like that, or maybe even this one, or a combination, and putting it around the border of the page. And I don't want to, I don't want to kind of run into it based on the size circle that I chose. But if I chose any smaller, then the design, like this, can go all the way into there. And I feel like the design would get lost if I went any smaller. So start with the circle or start with the border. I don't know. So I'm just going to play and see how I feel. I don't think that it'll bother me if I have to do this twice, because I didn't like stamping the border first. But we'll see what I can get out of this. All right, let's go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is pick out the inks based on the tones that are in my photo. And I brought my swatch. Now this swatch happens to be for my distress inks as well as my oxides. I just kind of did what Tim Holtz did, where he put one right next to the other and then added water so you could see both effects. I really liked that interpretation, so I stole it with pride. Anywho, once I have decided which inks I'm going to use, I'm using a combination of Distress ink, Distress oxide, as well as Close to My Heart. And I did decide that I'm going to stamp the borders first. And when I start with a brand new when I start with a brand new stamp, the first thing I want to do is condition it. And what that means is rub it on something, whether it's a clear eraser or your skin, in order to get that film off of it when it comes from the factory. I don't know exactly what that film is. It's just I've always had better luck at stamping a brand new photopolymer stamp set when I condition it. I've always used my arm because I never know where a white eraser is. And my arm, I always know where that is. I also rub my arm after I spray my stamp cleaner, because my stamp cleaner, now this might seem weird, my stamp cleaner seems to leave a film on it as well when I apply a different color ink, or when I apply it again the next time I want to use it, whether it was, the very next time or the next day. It seems to leave a film on there that makes the ink blotchy. And some people say, like manufacturer people, not other people, but on the manufacturers, they say, oh, well, just let it dry and the blotchiness will smooth out. I'm too impatient. I want to see instant results. So I just rub it on my arm and it's good to go. And that's it. So now what I am doing is gathering up all the blocks that I think I need for all the images that I have picked out. Now I've picked out some traditional seaweed that came in the sets, as well as just some leaves that I have found from other various sets, which I've listed earlier, in order to create my pattern around the circle. I also have a like what looks like the bottom of the what is it? The ocean bed, and then a net one, a very small net one. Now with the ghoulish grunge that I picked out, that net that I had picked out was in a straight line, and I thought going around in a circle it would look funny, and I'd have to manipulate it too much in order to get what I want. So this other net that I had found is actually kind of sort of circular already, and it's really not a big deal for me to stamp it around, and I think it looks 10 times better. So I have already prepared my my stamps on their blocks. That way I just can grab and go. It's not clean it, take it off, and then have to constantly keep using the same block. I just pulled all the blocks and put all my stamps on. And now I am using the photo, my my inspiration photo, as a kind of a reference guide. They used what looks like 3 or 4 different stamps where I am going to go all out. I have no idea where this is going to go or how this is going to look, but I just know that I know me and I know my style. So this leaf right here from the So Thoughtful collection or set is one of my favorites. I absolutely love this leaf. In fact, that's the reason why I bought the set, because when I saw it embossed, which I am not an embosser, I don't do the embossing, but I've embossed more now that I bought this leaf because of all of its imperfections. The embossing looks good. I know that sounds really weird, and I know that, it's kind of like, what does she mean? To me, my embossing has always looked imperfect, and so when it is imperfect, it's kind of like, okay, I'm not good at it, so I don't want to do it anymore. But when it comes to this leaf is already imperfect, so when you add embossing to it, it just looks amazing. Anyways, I keep bringing the photo back in to make sure that I'm going past my circle template enough to see what it is. And of course, I do not make you guys watch every little thing that I stamp. So now what I'm doing is I'm kind of sort of, well, not kind of sort of, I am blending in my, I think it's cracked sapphire, something sapphire. I think. Anyways, I have no idea. I'm not familiar with the Tim Holtz ones, but I'm basically filling in the gaps right now, and I don't want to go too far outside of my circle. So I start on my circle and I blend out onto my paper because I want it to be very, very small. And then I picked a color. I think this is something coral. Anyways, I'm not even going to try, but it abandoned coral. Ding, ding. Anyways, I wanted something to represent the color within my kayak, so that way it wasn't the only thing on the page of a bright corally color. So, and there is my circle. I'm so proud of it. It's so pretty. I think it is anyways. And now, in the inspiration photo, the designer stitched within her circle, and I thought, who's got time for that? I don't. But I do have this twine that I absolutely love. I'm sorry, I just love it. So the first twine is a dark blue. It's kind of a navy blue, maybe. Yeah, kind of a navy. And then the other one is the same navy, but it's mixed with almost like a brown, very light brown. I think it's called Sahara Sand from Stampin' Up. And I love how the two of them twisted together. It kind of reminds me of a life buoy. And so basically what I'm going to do with, definitely not filmed the whole thing, but I'm going to glue it all the way around the circle. And wherever the rope kind of sticks out from the other rope,
I'm going to leave that loose. I'm only going to glue down what happens to land in the glue around the circle. So, and that's about it. I do want to share, that's about it for the background, I should say. I do want to share a close-up of what it looks like right now before I start actually putting all the goodies in it and covering most of it up. This is what it looks like. I think I kind of like how it turned out. Not really sure. And now I'll get back to actually finishing the layout. I have a few more stamps I would like to add, a little bit more of these new embellishments from Close to My Heart. I'm going to go through these die cuts from Kaiser Craft and pick out the ones. Now, what I'm picking out is basically by color, or it's by theme. What, does this really represent my photo very well? Is kind of what I'm going through. I'm reading all the words. If it's too beachy, if it's too, vacation-y, it goes back in the pack. So if it's a little bit more broader, then I put it in my pile. Doesn't mean I'm going to use all of it, but it is going to go into my pile. Now, and I unpackaged the words from the Paper House Puffies. And then I'm going to go through these little pocket cards and pick out all the ones that I think would go good, as a kind of like a title card is what I'm really looking for. But at the time, I didn't know what I was looking for. I was looking for a card to go next to my photo. I knew that I wanted a card. That a 3x4 card that could go next to my photo. I have a 4x6 card. I picked out another 4x6 card that I was thinking about cutting down and then having that as my journaling. And then this other 3x4 title card. And then I picked out some papers because the inspiration photo has two strips of photos in 3 different spots coming out of the photo. And so I was really looking for paper that would look good doing that. And so these are the 2 papers that I picked out. And these photo mats that I picked out, these are leftover photo mats that I create right after I'm done making mini albums, and I have a ton of these. I just keep them around. I have no idea what the sizes are. That's why I was measuring it to see what size to cut my photo down. But yeah, they're just random pieces of black cardstock, because normally I make my albums out of black cardstock, and then I take cheapo, thin white cardstock and make photo mats out of them. And then that way I have a bunch of them ready to go. I can stick them in the little pockets or the nooks and crannies of the mini album. And then I have leftovers that have been just kind of put in my stash for me to use whenever I need it. And this time it happened to become handy on this layout. So now I'm going through all the die cuts and embellishments that I picked out, and I'm going to place them on the page. And right away, I have noticed that my circle must have been smaller or my photo was larger, one of the two, but the little strips of paper that are in the inspiration are not going to make it on my layout because I didn't have the room. And instead, I'm going to stick up some oars, because that's what we use, of course, to paddle ourselves around this little pond is our oars. And I thought, oh, these would look great. Plus they're sticking out just like the inspiration piece. And then I picked a bunch of shells from the Close to My Heart chipboard, so that way I could just have them as fillers as well. And this little card, this little pocket card seemed to stick out too much. And so I thought what I was going to do at first was just ink the edges blue. But then I got a little carried away and I inked too much of it blue. And so now it's too blue. So I'm going to pull out some green and ink the edges. I'm not going to be very light-handed. I'm going to make it to where it really shows up. And so now I really like it with the dark green and the dark blue around the border, and then the white on the in the center. So And that is, pretty much it. Now I'm just going to glue everything together. And what I'm doing is I'm layering everything together one little piece at a time because I have to use foam tape behind my photo and the card and some embellishments. And instead of, foam taping one and then putting it on and then foam taping it, I'm gluing it all together as one big piece. So that way I can put the foam tape down and then avoid the, what is it called? The twine going around, and put foam tape between, on this side of the twine and that side of the twine if I need to. Anything that gets directly glued to the paper, I'm gluing that down now. So then that way, when I take my entire piece off to put foam tape down, I will have a reference point of where that is. And then that way I don't get frustrated because I put my foam tape in a specific spot based on where everything was at the time. I hope that makes sense. If not, my goodness. It's just terrible. I just know that I need the foam to go around the twine. I keep wanting to call it cording. But I know that I need it to go around the twine, and I just need it to go specifically. Now, my foam, I must have bought it when it went bad or something. The reason why it's yellow on the other side, if you guys saw that, when I bought it, the glue, the adhesive that was on it was all dried up. And so I actually have to take the paper backing off and then rip the adhesive off, which leaves this weird little yellow yellow stain, I guess, on the back of my fun foam. And so when I do that, I feel like I kind of have a nervousness about if we put just like the tear and tape, or what is it called? Oh, I forgot what it was called. But if we were to put that tape on and then over the years it dried out and crustified like this one did, what would that look like? And so I just kind of am curious. So what I do is I put tape on mine, but then I also put a liquid adhesive. I'm not sure which one's best. I'm not sure what it will do several years from now. I have no idea. But anyways, I am done. I hope you guys liked, my swirling and all of the layout. I really, really, really enjoyed this layout. I love how it turned out. I'm so grateful for the inspiration, and I hope you guys come back and see another one. Bye.